Welcome to this lecture on previewing your books in iBooks Author. So far in our project, we've gone ahead and imported some documents into our book. We've added some pictures, we've worked on the cover, the intro media, so it's a good time for us to preview this book. Now there's a couple of ways that we can do that. We can either preview this on our Mac using iBooks, or we can connect an iPad to our Mac and preview it in the iBooks app on the Mac. In order to start that process, we would click on the preview button in the toolbar, and you'll see that I have a list of devices pop up here. In my case, I do have my iPad Air connected to this computer. So I'm going to start by selecting this computer from the list of devices, and I'm going to click the preview button. So what it's going to do is it's going to publish a proof version of this book. So it's going to actually publish all 4 chapters that I have here. And then it's going to open it up in iBooks. So you can see we are at the chapter 1 page, which is the page that I was looking at. If I use my trackpad to do a pinch in, you can see that it actually takes me to the table of contents. And the table of contents shows me the thumbnails for all of the sections that I have within this chapter. It also gives me the ability to jump to a particular chapter as well. So far, my book is looking pretty good, and I can continue working. I see some issues already that I'll need to fix. So I can continue working in iBooks Author, and being able to preview on the Mac is really nice because it's quick. You don't have to have your iPad with you, and then you can make whatever changes that you want to. Now, of course, the limitation of previewing this on a Mac is that you can't actually preview what this is going to look like in portrait mode. In order to do that, you really do have to connect your iPad and preview on an iPad itself. So we'll go ahead and do that next. So I'm just going to close iBooks. You can see I've got my cover there. And you can see that, we spent some time working on the cover, and the cover does appear on the bookshelf. It's also going to appear if I were to publish this to the bookstore. Anytime anyone's searching for this book, they'll see this cover. So you definitely want to spend some time creating an attractive cover. Okay, so I'm back in iBooks Author. I'm going to select Preview again. And again, now I have my 2 devices, my Mac and my iPad Air. I'll select iPad Air and choose Preview. It's going to go through the same process of publishing the book, but there is an additional step of it copying the book over the lightning cable into iBooks on my iPad. Now, the one thing that you should keep in mind is that I'm actually going to switch over to my QuickTime camera here. Okay, so I didn't do it quite fast enough, but you probably saw what happened there. This is what I'm seeing on my iPad right now. So I'm now interacting with this book on the iPad itself, and you're seeing, a screen capture of that. So here are my glossary terms. I can go to the glossary index, for example. All that seems to work well. Okay, click done. If I pinch in, again, I have that same capability available to me on the iPad, of course. I can go to any part of the book that I want to. So the book looks great on the iPad as well. Now, if I want to, I can choose to hold this in the portrait mode, and you can see that it sort of changes a little bit. So notice how the main graphic actually changed. Now we see a thumbnail on the left-hand side, and now we basically have a reading view instead of the view that we had previously with landscape. Okay, so again, this is very important when you're previewing your project. You want to make sure that you're previewing it on the device as well, so that you can see exactly how things are going to appear to your readers. There is the ability for you to disable the portrait mode altogether. We can talk about that in another session. And that concludes our lecture on previewing your iBooks Author projects on your Mac and on your iPad.